Good afternoon guys, Dark Purple Shadow here, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can build a PC that will last as long as possible. Now, before we delve into what exactly I'm talking about, we have to define something called future-proofing. Future-proofing is a mystical concept in gaming, technology, etc. It is basically making sure the technology that you have lasts as long as possible. Now, in the early 2000s, this was nigh on impossible because everything was obsolete within 2 years because Moore's Law was in full flight. And if you don't know what Moore's Law is, I might make a video on it one day, but not today. Today I'm talking about exactly what you should do when it comes to building a new system at the tail end of 2024. My first piece of advice is you should wait. The reason why I suggest you should wait is because not only is AMD just releasing some new processors, I think they've released the 9800X3D, which is out of stock everywhere, so you've got to wait for that. Another reason why you should wait is because Nvidia have also got a looming release schedule on the horizon when it comes to the 5000 series of Nvidia GPUs. And for that reason, if you would like to future-proof, now is a very bad time to build a PC. That being said, if you are upgrading an older system, specifically an AM4 platform, an AM4 platform right now has a lot of offerings, namely in the 5700X3D, which I believe is probably the best bang for your buck processor of today. The 5700X3D is one of those things that makes you want to actually jump on the AM4 platform, because I believe for the performance you get and the price you pay, nothing comes close. Not even the mighty 7800X3D, because that costs about 3 times as much and it's not 3 times better. Now, what do I mean by future-proofing? When it comes to future-proofing, you can't really do that. You can't really jump on an older platform. The only thing I suggest doing when it comes to AM4 is upgrading. I wouldn't suggest building a new AM4 platform, namely because you're going to be stuck with older architectures of RAM, such as DDR4, which has been around for about a decade and is now coming to the end of its kind of general life cycle. You don't want to be that one guy in 2028 who's rocking DDR4 RAM. Trust me, it doesn't sound like a fun place to be. DDR5 is the future, there's no doubt about it, and really if you want to jump on the bandwagon now, it is a good time. And for that reason, I would recommend, if you are building a future-facing gaming PC, stick to the AM5 platform. Now you're thinking, he's talking about AM5, what CPU should I get? When it comes to the CPU on AM5, there's a lot on offer. And truly, if you had an unlimited budget, I'd recommend waiting and getting the 9800X3D, but I understand that isn't an option for everyone. For that reason, I recommend basically anything that complements the graphics card you're going to think about getting. And one thing I'd recommend is looking at some of the non-X3D processors, even if you are a gamer, because realistically the difference is there, but it is not the end of the world. You can still game pretty well on other AMD processors, such as a 9700X, the 7600X. There's a lot of good processors out there, so don't just be blindsided by X3D and spend your grandma's life savings on it. It's not a smart thing to do. Obviously, if you have the funds and you are an enthusiast, I'd recommend doing so. Maybe not your grandma's money, but your own. But otherwise, think carefully and build according to your budget. Now, if I'm going to give you some further advice, it would simply be look at your system as a whole. For that reason, let's focus on the GPU right now. GPU market right now is a bit crazy. The 4000 series is still available. You can buy one. There are still many in stock, even the 4090 in the UK, although I believe that stock is somewhat dwindling. However, if I was to build a mid of the pack kind of GPU, I'd go for the 4070 Ti Super. And you're thinking, why am I recommending this? It is still an expensive product. The main reason is 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and I'd really suggest you go for Nvidia over AMD right now, is because you have the DLSS and ray tracing technologies, which are basically the future of gaming. As much as people don't like to believe it, ray tracing is becoming more and more integral to video games and being hard-coded into them. So for that reason, if you want to survive another 5-6 years with your gaming PC, make sure you get it. Furthermore, the driver support, as far as I'm aware, for Nvidia is far superior to AMD's driver support. AMD, I believe, only guarantee you 6 years of driver support. Nvidia, I don't think they guarantee you 10 years, but that is kind of the standard they've been following so far, and I don't think they're going to change that because they don't really have to. They've been pretty good to me with my GTX 1080, so I can't really fault them for that. I'm still getting updates every other day. It's really annoying to download them, but I do it anyway because it improves performance. Now, let's continue our conversation. Let's talk about other areas of your PC. And if you're in 2024 and you want to have a good future, please don't get a hard drive built into your PC. Please don't do it. Even if you need the storage, you know, get an external external hard drive. You don't really need to have a hard drive on your PC, because a lot of times if you get a really cheap one like I did, one of the basic ones, they make a lot of noise when they spool up. I'd recommend just sticking to NVMe SSDs and try and get good ones with decent amounts of capacity. Try and get a singular NVMe SSD with as much storage as you can get. Then further down the line you can occasionally add in another one or two, and that brings me on to my next point. When it comes to motherboards, make sure if you're looking for future proofing, you're getting motherboards with not one, not two, probably 3 or more NVMe slots, because that allows you to upgrade storage in the future. Let me tell you why. If you're playing anything modern such as Call of Duty or Black Myth Wukong or Elden Ring, these games at a minimum require 100 gigabytes of storage or more as a baseline. That's not including the random updates you get every other weekend, which take 3 hours to download even with 1 gigabyte download speeds. It's crazy this day and age. You need a lot of storage, and NVMe is the only way to go, because a lot of games just won't run off your hard drive disk because the data transfer speeds are too slow. You're gonna be putting performance on the table if you do that, and it's only going further into that direction. So please don't be the type of guy like me who still uploads older games onto their hard drive disk and runs them when they don't have enough storage on their SSDs. Now, what else would I recommend if I was to suggest that you build a future-proof gaming PC? I'd also recommend looking at your peripherals. I don't mean the ones in your PC, I mean the ones outside. Make sure you get a good high quality monitor that can last a lifetime. Ideally something with good refresh rates, probably an IPS panel at a minimum, but also think about OLEDs. OLEDs look beautiful. The other day I was watching League of Legends Arcane, you know, the TV series on the Netflix. I was watching that. I was watching it on my TV. I'm a cheap person. I buy cheap TVs because I don't really care that much, but I didn't realize the fidelity difference you get when you go from a big fat ugly TV to a nice Samsung OLED tablet. When I started watching this show on my tablet, I was enthralled by how much better it looks. And for that reason, I think having an OLED monitor, which personally right now I do not have, is a good idea. And when it comes to future proofing, OLED is the standard. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of new technologies when it comes to monitors. So it's a good place to spend your money, because PC products will always be able to be upgraded, but monitors, usually when you get one, you stick with it and you suffer with it because it just lasts that long. Furthermore, I think when it comes to future proofing, and I've said that a lot in this video, I do understand, I think it's important to consider things as a whole. You don't want to be bought in by fads. You want to make sure that the core components of your PC are good. A good future-proofed PC is also a good PC, good bang for your buck. And also, if you want it to last a lifetime, you want to make sure you get a good power supply and you clean things regularly. Not just your PC, but the area around it. You don't want to have empty Coke cans near your PC, because spills do happen and that Coca-Cola will destroy your PC very quickly, quicker than me with a sledgehammer. Now, I would also recommend looking after your older stuff, because looking after it allows it to last longer. With my current PC I've had for almost a decade now, when the Intel CPU cooler broke, I replaced it with a Noctua one, and now it's perfectly fine. If anything, doing that saved me a lot of hassle in upgrading, etc. A lot of people wouldn't bother replacing products that might be defective, broken, or somewhat not working correctly, but doing this just adds to the likelihood that your stuff will just not work, or worse still, break. So for that reason, that's my information around how to make sure you can build a future-proof gaming PC. Yes guys, it's Dark Purple Shadow here. Please hit the like button. Please make sure you comment your opinions. I want to hear them. I engage with everything I can, and try and subscribe if you enjoy the content too. More insights coming soon. Tech, gaming, whatever, I'm down.